POV, it's a summer Friday and your friend asks you to go to the beach and you say, yeah, that's so cool. I just need to run one errand and then I'll be right there. So you run an errand to Lower Manhattan and then you get on the A train, and when you're on the A train you realize immediately you got on the wrong A train. And as you're sitting there thinking, I'll just kind of see how far this takes me, there's a man who walks into the subway cart and he's kind of yelling at everybody, he's kind of getting in everybody's face, and you think to yourself, hey, that's okay. You live in New York City, so these things happen, that's fine. You get off the train, then you get onto the right A train, right? You take the A train all the way to Broad Channel, that's totally fine. You're waiting for the shuttle to take you to Beach 90. Unfortunately, the bridge is up. You're waiting about 20 minutes on the platform for the shuttle to show up, but the shuttle does show up and that's okay. And now at this point, you have been commuting for about 2 hours, but that's fine because you're going to the beach. And so you're walking over to the beach and you find your friends, you go into the ocean. Immediately when you go into the ocean, there are two men who are deciding to just kind of hover about right here next to you, and your friends just smiling at you, even though you're giving them dirty looks like, please get away from me, but they're there the entire time. But that's fine, right? You're in the water, you get out of the ocean, you're soaking up the sun, you're putting on sunscreen. Your two friends say, hey, we're gonna go get hot dogs. And the entire time that you're standing there, there are these people around you who are throwing a football. They're throwing a football, and you think to yourself, seems a little performative, right? Why are you tossing it amongst all of these other people when there's so much space behind us? Like, there's so much empty space, but that's fine, whatever. And at one point it kind of bounces towards you and hits you on the foot, tossing it back, you're like, no problem, that's fine. And then about 10 more minutes go by, and then you hear your friend yell, Meg, or you hear your friend yell your name, and before you can react, a football hits you in the face. You're lying down on the ground, a football hits you in the face, and these two guys are coming over here and they're like, oh my god, we're so sorry, can I shake your hand, and you're going, no, you hit me in the face. And they're going, we're so sorry. And I'm like, there's room over there for you guys to play, there's room over there. And they're going, no, oh my god, we'll take a timeout. And I'm like, right, but when you time back in, go over there, because you hit me in the face. Now you're sitting there and you've been hit in the face, right? But your friends come back with the aforementioned hot dog. You eat a hot dog and you think, yeah, I just got hit in the face, but this day is turning around. And then you look to the north and you're seeing a storm rolling in. So there's kind of a mass exodus from Beach 90, but your friend says, don't worry, I know a place. So you go over to the place up on 95th, but a lot of people had the same idea. So it is packed body to body, and these bodies are damp and covered in sunscreen and covered in sand. And at this point, you're kind of having like an overstimulated feeling where you're like, if one more thing or person touches or talks to you, then you're gonna lose it. And then another man sits down across from you because you're sitting out on the bench. You're sitting over on the bench. You're kind of waiting in this little restaurant vestibule for the now torrential storm to stop. And there's a man who's sitting across from you across the bench, and he leans into you real close. He gets real close to your face. He goes, I could have been a star. You go, I don't really have time for this today. You think to yourself, you know what? It's not good, and I don't like doing this, but the thought of commuting another hour and a half by subway with a million other people back to my apartment, it doesn't sound good to me right now. You call an Uber, it's 20 minutes away. And the Uber shows up and you're like, hey, are you the Uber? And he goes, yeah. Are you Sandy? And you go, well, I'm not Sandless. And he goes, ugh. And then we say, there are 4 of us, can one of us sit in front? And he goes, okay. Then you take an Uber an hour and a half back because you're a fucking dumbass and you forgot that it's 5 p.m. So certainly there is going to be traffic. And as a matter of fact, you should have just taken the subway, because truly the moral of any story when you're in New York is that you should just always take the subway. And in fact, the Uber driver does not turn on the air, keeps all the windows closed, and is blasting music for an hour and a half with these songs.